Welcome to Surf Dudes with Attitude. Welcome back. This is Pete from New York City. Hello, Zach.
Well, hello, Pete. This is Ash from Nashville, Tennessee. I might look sickly. It's the robe.
Okay.
There's a reason for it. There always is.
You usually do full method actor, but you came right out and told the audience what was up. You didn't want to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. You are incognito, in costume, as a sad Sam in the kitchen from this episode of California Dreams, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was there no other option for what you could dress up as? Or was this kind of a slapdash thrown together idea?
That's rude of you to ask in that way, as though this wasn't
We ask the
out.
hard-hitting questions here on
Yeah, we do, don't we?
You
ask me hard-hitting questions, don't you? I have a few options, actually.
Okay. All right.
Last episode, you might recall that I watched the incorrect episode, and I had to. There was a false start, and I said, "Hold on," then, and I rewatched.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the actual episode we were doing.
You did,
and got a new outfit.
Yeah.
Anyway, that original outfit has yet to be aired, and I almost did this very evening, and because it's a Tony-esque vest, I will say that much.
Sure.
And Tony once again is wearing one of these vests that would have fit well. But this was indeed the year of the woo, a Sam-centric episode, and I looked at her outfits over this episode, and what did I have access to?
Mm-hmm.
The sad Sam in a kitchen outfit, which happens to be this pale blue robe, and golly, it's comfy.
She is she's like a Morrissey song personified in those scenes that we're going to be talking about later. She is just gloomy. Okay, I think that's the best way. She is upset, and we're gonna get into why. Pardon us if everyone's coming back. This is Surf Dudes with Attitude. We take a weekly look at California Dreams each episode, and we are on season 2 at the moment, and we're over halfway through. And personally, I have not been here for a month. I've been on tour. I just got back, and
how was it?
I'm getting back in the swing of things. But I will say the tour went pretty well. I find a lot of people are asking me about it, and I have to gauge. I have to do a once over on them, and I kind of ask myself, what kind of a TED talk is this person willing to hear about this? You know, because I think they're just asking like, oh, how was it? The same way you would ask a coworker, like, how was your vacation? You know, I think I would bore them if I started talking about, well, we were in Detroit one night. And yada, yada, yada. They just want to hear an overall, grand gesture of how things went. But you are a musician as well.
All the banging.
I think
we want to hear about all the wily stories, all the crazy. How many TVs did you throw out of your hotel window?
I'm very shocked to say that we only stayed in 2 hotels. We did about 19 days across America and back out to Minneapolis, and we were lucky to have a lot of friends on this tour. We got 2 Airbnbs, and we got 2 hotel rooms. So unfortunately, the caliber of flat screen televisions that were destroyed was less than a lot of our other tours. But
you didn't meet your quota.
No, but you know what? The year's not over. Things can happen. But I think overall the tour went really well. It started off a little bumpy, but we kind of went in knowing that. We knew like the back half was going to be kind of, more loaded with like solid shows with better guarantees, but getting out there was going to be difficult. So I actually did a tour diary for a Bass magazine, and I just finished it up tonight. And because I've been back for a couple of days, so I was doing the last one. They were releasing 1 per week, but it's like 32 full pages that I wrote about this tour.
Holy shit!
And I was like, does anybody even read these long form literary pieces again? It's strange because when I was a kid, I'd be like double space, like over putting in as many adjectives as possible just to like make that like 8-page quota that you had to reach. But now I'm like slashing sentences and paragraphs and stuff because I'm like, nobody was gonna fucking read this, but I've got a lot of good responses. It's very honest. And yeah, you can totally read about that on No Treble. It's a pun.
What?
You can read about it there. But I missed you because normally I see you on tour, but we didn't dip this far down to Nashville, so it was some uncharted territory. But I missed my Surf Dudes family. I was working on some videos while we were gone. We were able to put out the Gem episode. We did a great. I think that was like 6 months ago or something. We actually recorded that episode, so it was odd to see, what we looked like 6 months ago.
How much has changed? Exactly.
You weren't wearing a robe. Like you had so much innocence and brightness in your life, and your skin
my hair was bright red,
way darker. Yeah. So
my skin tone, exactly. I had been around and witnessed to sun much more.
So anyway, I'm really glad that we put out some episodes while I was gone. So we obviously had to put some in the can, as they say, and now we're back to recording. And not sure when this one's coming out, but it's good to see you, and it's good to be back. And I think we should just kind of get in the episode, and we'll talk about any other bullshit that pops up. How does that sound, buddy?
I think that sounds pretty cool.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned.
Are you ready, Freddie?
I'm ready, Freddie Betty. I think it's going to catch on.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I thought, Betty, it's the Betty thing. It's Freddie, Letty, Letty. Okay. Let's do it. I think I told you that I've been saying let's do it and not meaning to do it in reference to this. It's just now become a part of what I do in band practice.
Your lexicon.
And I actually do say let's do it when we're about to start a song. And
okay, well, I mean, big question here. Fable Cry has recently played a show. You were Sans bass player. Did you say it live in front of people? Our audience is demanding to know.
Did I say let's do it?
Yeah.
I mean, yes. Do you believe me?
There's no way to check.
This song we want to dedicate to, I don't know, the moon. Fuck yeah. I love that thing. Has nothing to do with it, but it deserves it.
It's true.
Let's do it.
Moon doesn't get enough credit.
I mean, there's actually one way to check, and that's why I hesitated, because we played at Dee's Lounge. There's this place in Nashville. Okay. It was our first time playing it. A local bar. It was great. But the sorry, somebody's calling me, and I can't answer that right now. You can cut that if you want to. We played at Dee's Lounge. It was great. And they actually live stream all of their sets, and then they are on the YouTube. So, yes, I said let's do it. And if anybody wants to fact check it, then watch the entire live stream.
Oh, you have bested them with logic and marketing.
Exactly. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Did I say it at the top of the show?
They should watch it anyway.
They should watch it anyway, whether I said let's do it or not. It was it was a pretty great set. We had a good time.
That's great, because we had just put out the Gem episode, and we talked about on there like what show could you do without a player, and you had to kind of adjust quickly and do a show without your bass player. And then I saw Mallory had to like get up there on keytar, and they had to pull double duty.
Baby.
It went okay.
This guitar, it was the debut, so it was not how we had originally intended the guitar to be. Playing the low end there. But yes, our bass player was unavailable for this, and we we're like, well, what time? what better time than the present?
Yeah.
And it was great. So yeah, expect more Keytar from Fable Cry, and also expect the bass to continue. I had some friends reach out and were like, "Hey, I saw that Lauren wasn't playing. I'll play bass for you." And I was like, "Get out of here, Pete."
Yeah. Well,
Um,
if only you knew another multi-string bass player. If anybody doesn't know, Zach's band has a 12-string bass player. Sometimes it's a 9, sometimes it's a 10. But I'm like, all right, I see what you're doing. I wanted to be special, and they were a fourth more special than I was. So I actually didn't offer, but maybe I should have.
I'm sure we've talked about it on here. We've definitely talked about it off air in private, that it's inevitable that some sort of Hubert Raptor's Fable Cry mashup is going to happen in a live show, in a live setting, in a song, in a batch of songs. There's going to be collaborative efforts beyond just talking about teenagers from California. This is
doesn't have to be just that, but I would love to incorporate all of it. But that's me. So
are we gonna the first thing we do is going to be covering.
I want to keep saying that. I want to keep threatening that we're going to cover some of these California Dream songs, but we haven't yet, because none have moved me that much outside of that really sad one that
that
Matt
George
sings.
didn't like.
Yeah, that you guys didn't like. That's the only one
sorry.
that I think I learned every part. No,
did
you
we
didn't
make
hurt
you? Did we
no, I'm
influence
just
you
waiting for
not
your
doing anything?
opinion to change. Eventually, it will. You'll see the light.
That's possible.
Well, I mean, speaking of music, we have had a rash. We've
You have
had
a rash?
a bunch of
We shared
episodes
a rash
prior to this that did not have any music, and we were getting upset. We get mad. And this one at least had some band. They had a lot of band stuff to talk about, and we even got a song at the end. So, jumping into it, this episode is the 11th episode of season 2. Again, we always have to go through the disclaimer that we are going by the episode order date and the IMDb list. So it might be different on YouTube, but this is episode 11, second season. It's called The Year of the Woo, and it came out on November 20th, 1993. And damn, this was loaded. This was stuffed like a musket. This episode had a lot going on. I was happy to see a van being loaded with equipment. I was happy to see Sharky's having a one song concert. There was talk, and I really appreciate that. And it's not as much as we would hope, but we are thankful for what we have. It's the two fishes feeding 500 kind of situation. Okay,
it's exactly like that. It is. You know, they made it work.
Yes.
And am I still a little hungry? Sure. But I mean, come on. You need 500 people to feed.
That's okay. So that question of I mean, Bible diatribe here for a second, but you're feeding 500 people with fishes in a barrel, and the fishes keep multiplying, right? Are you cooking these fishes? Are you just giving them away to people and being like, good luck not getting fish salmonella? I mean, the loaves of bread I get. Okay. You get a bunch of loaves of bread, you can do anything. You can put the fish on the loaves of bread. But the fish,
like a little fish sandwich.
You can have a cod sandwich.
Maybe it's like sushi. Maybe it's like a sushi roll.
Is somebody flaying the fish
on a roll? You know what I mean? Sushi and a roll.
Okay. That might be in the bibliography of the Bible. Might be in the King James version. So we're going to start this
extreme version. I had like a modern. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like a modern
pop-up book version of the Bible.
There might be other. Oh, I wish there might be some people, because I've seen. I think I saw this at a thrift store, at some point, but it was like late 90s, early 2000s. They had it basically just. It was like the opposite of King James, so it modernized the language
Okay.
Not so much. They weren't using slang.
Okay.
People have made that joke before. They weren't doing
That has
that,
to
but
exist.
they made the language. I believe it does, but they just made the language more modern. So it was how
So they
we
took out all the D's and
communicate here.
vowels.
Exactly.
Okay.
Entirely. So, teenagers would like it. And then on the cover, it showed a bunch of extreme Christians, and it was like a collage of like a BMXer and like a skateboarder, and it's like in extreme sports, like when the X Games were like on top of the world. We both were involved in this. That was where we were headed.
Grinding for God, if you will. Yes.
Grinding for God. Exactly. The daily bread. So
That's a good joke. That's a great skate magazine.
it's a great skate magazine. I know. I think part of why I was allowed to read it is because it sounded Christian, even though their interviews featured a lot of foul language.
A lot of foul language.
Yeah, those skaters are punks.
I mean, if you're going to make the Bible more interesting, make it like a magic eye. Because that's kind of what it is now. Only certain people can see it and who believe it actually has something of substance inside.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa!
Sick burn by Barnabas over here. Okay.
Look
wait,
at
Barabbas.
that.
Barabbas is the one that did the 9 tails on Jesus. Okay, here we go.
Yep.
So speaking of the heavenly Messiah, we start at Sharkey's and we see Sly. Sly does a silly dance. People whoop.
Also, it goes back and forth between like how we feel about how we, the canned audience, feels about everybody. And in this episode, opening, Sly runs in and like all the ladies think he's awesome.
Yeah,
there's
it's like
a lot
Kramer
of
just walked in. It's a lot.
Yeah, but it's like in the way that like the hot guy walks in, not like Kramer.
Well, wait, wouldn't Kramer be the hot guy of Seinfeld?
Was he the hot guy of Seinfeld?
He's easily the best looking male on Seinfeld.
Oh, that's interesting.
He's definitely he's the Tony Wick. He's the best dressed, obviously.
Wait, is he the best looking?
He's the tallest, thinnest. He's got stuff going on. He's not boring. He's definitely who I would date in that universe.
But he's also the comedic relief. He's the he's the third banana.
Yeah, he's the third banana.
You know that vaudeville term?
That's something people say still. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. George is the second banana, and Kramer is the third banana.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, but would you call? I mean, we have debated this endlessly. Who's the best looking on California Dreams, and we have come to a fact that Sly, yes, is attractive, but he leans into this awful personality that makes him a turnoff. So, but that doesn't stop him from cutting a sweet rug, dancing some sick grooves right at the table, because he got a show at Burbank Barney's for. Are you ready? He got a show for the band within 4 days' notice for $1,000. What?
$1,000.
That is $2,070.
That's like $10 million today. Oh,
you're not.
My calculator might be wrong.
You're not wrong. Price is Right rules. What venue is paying this high school band to play? I don't know. How much material do you think they have? Hour and a half at most.
And how are they just like woohoo, and that's it?
Yeah, that's,
you know what I mean.
That's an insane feat.
Fuck ton of money.
We have a professional agent, and he's never gotten us $2,000 for a show, and that's just like months and months of notice and years of contacts and shit like that.
Yeah,
maybe we're not the California Dream.
The closest we've done is like a weddings will pay a lot,
sure,
but we've done it for less. So if anybody's getting married out there, just know that we're affordable. Both of our bands are affordable.
I mean, you don't know what D's, right? You're definitely affordable.
Is expensive. But if you're wealthy, we're affordable.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're poor like us, sorry, we can't afford us either.
we definitely always jack our prices up for weddings because I'm sorry, but we get screwed on every other show throughout the entire year. We got to make it up somehow. So
Exactly, and it's built into it. People love to spend money on weddings, and they're willing to do so. So it's like, I didn't make this system.
So the three guys, they start talking about what they want to do with this extra money, and like for no reason. And Jake says something about getting his mom something, the mom that we've heard about a couple times. That
He's
Zach
going to
has an entire
remember Mother's
backstory
Day.
for.
Yeah, I remember all about this. I'm still mad that
then,
they've changed.
I want to see her. Matt says he put money away for college, which is the most Matt thing ever. Even though he backpedals on it, but he's such a dork. I think
this is dad back.
This is just to get to us. I mean, this is kind of. I think we only have an A plot for this episode, right? We sort of have a B plot with the poker, and that's why this scene kind of comes in. Is that this is a foreshadowing or what might happen. So they decided to play poker on Saturday night. They're not even talking about how long they're going to play at this gig on Friday. They say the only problem is that their band van is giving them some issues, and Burbank is, according to Google Maps, only an hour and 17 minutes away, but they say it's 2 hours with how they drive. Probably, let's just put that 2 hours with traffic. So I guess they're settled. They're going to play this show. Even though Sly did not ask any of them if they were available, but that's, that's actually the most agent thing. That's the most realistic thing. Agents will do that constantly.
Maybe they have a band calendar, so he knows what everybody's schedule is.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I could totally see them having that show and then being like, well, sorry, I was supposed to take Tiffany to the movies, so we can't make it like that. That's totally going to be a fucking plot.
Which is what I was expecting from this, because Sam comes in. She, I don't remember what she says, but she gives a greeting in Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the Chinese New Year.
Yes.
That's coming up, and she's going to be able to go home because she just got lucky money from her parents, $800 worth. That will matter soon.
Did you look up if lucky money was a real thing?
I think lucky money is a real thing. The show has been very accurate.
You're my cultural liaison into the show, Zach.
Relevance and accuracy. This show has been very good about that.
Where's George? Why isn't he looking this up?
George, we miss your fingers.
Okay, so lucky money is a real thing, and it's actually given in a red envelope, apparently. So that
which is exactly how it happened this way. So
Sam is given $800. And she says that's enough to send me on a round trip to Hong Kong and back. And I looked it up, Zach. I looked it up by the year about how much it would cost. And it's actually more than twice the amount you would need to actually get there, which is really sad.
Do it for $400 back then?
You could do it for $400 from LA to Hong Kong and back was about $350.
I can't even visit you for $350.
Yeah, I know. And that's adjusted for inflation. So like that sucks that it used to be so cheap and now it is
adjusted
so unaffordable.
For inflation.
Yes.
You're saying so
she could take somebody else with her for $800 basically. So wow.
I was wondering, because I don't want to spoil anything that happens, but they're able to afford a certain thing, and it's
and it's
with
really
amount of money,
and it's a very close to the date of. So that's the other
thing. Man, flying's just different now.
The parents just don't understand. So
got that.
I just wanted to say one more thing while they're here. They make a really shoehorned in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles joke here. And then Jake says, but they're Japanese, which is, again, this is probably the dozenth time that we've heard this joke. Mm-hmm. And then Tiff says, well, no, because they were battling the Peking warthogs. Now, in case anybody was clamoring to know, the Peking warthogs are nowhere in the TMNT comic books or the show, but Peking, PEEKING warthogs is a hashtag on Pinterest in case you want to look that up. So that's it.
Wow.
I stumbled upon in my research. Apparently, a bunch of people take pictures of warthogs that are popping up out of the soil, and they call them peeking warthogs.
That are
So,
peeking.
yes,
Wow.
peeking. It's kind of a homophone.
Wait,
So
was
don't
that?
think about it too much.
Were there any peeking warthogs?
No, peeking.
There was a warthog that
Right, Bebop
is
and
a villain
Rocksteady.
in TMNT.
Yes.
Yeah, and did he peek? Was that the whole joke? Was that she was? Was
I
it Tiffany?
seriously doubt it. No, we
peeking
are once again
warthogs?
putting more effort into this joke than any of the writers ever did. So
Okay.
we're trying to make it make sense.
Yeah, we
And,
want to.
So
Dang.
we go to
I
the
was really
kitchen.
expecting at this point.
Yeah.
I was expecting that this would be. Oh no, Sam's got to go back to China for
Yes, I did
the
too.
same time as Burbank. I thought it was another
Mhm.
scheduling issue. So when it wasn't, that was fun. I was like, well, where is this headed then? And we're about to
Yes.
find out.
And they could have easily done like, well, we got to play this. I can already write this. So they do the set without Sam, and the van breaks down anyway because they want this money so bad that they're willing to compromise their music, and then they have to take a bunch of cabs there. The set sounds terrible, and they realize they shouldn't have done it without Sam in the first place. And then maybe she shows up halfway through the gig to play the set, and then it's all a disaster. And she's like, well, it's about the friends we made along the way on the way to Hong Kong. Just spitballing here.
It could have gone like that. That's not bad. I wish you were around. You were around, but I wish you were older and you could have been a writer.
Oh,
on this
I could have
show.
been the Doogie Howser writing this show when I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
I wish. Damn it. Anyway, we're gonna go to the kitchen. Jake comes in after trying to fix the van. He's very greasy. I don't know why he's not wearing gloves while working on any of this. Blah blah blah. There's a shirt joke. He says the new transmission is going to cost $700, and an actual transmission costs anywhere between $1,800 and $2,300 today. Okay, so that's more like $1,100 back then. So I thought that Jake meant this is for the parts. He was going to take care of the labor, but that's not true. Okay, so they're getting a really cheap transmission for a really old vehicle, which doesn't make a lot of automotive sense. We find out later that Jake is not the one that's installing it, and we're going to get into that.
Thank goodness.
But couldn't they, like, kind of more to my point earlier, don't they have like two people with cars at this point that, okay, we can't take the band van, but like, let's stuff everybody in two cars. You could fit drums and amps and stuff like that into there. Like,
Absolutely.
I get that it's a show, but these kids aren't resourceful whatsoever. Like, they were resourceful enough to buy a band van at 16 years old, but they're not enough to like get their non-existent dead parents to take them for some reason,
Exactly. I mean, 2 hours is not long enough to worry about taking more than one vehicle. I think
and for $1,000 you could throw $100 to somebody, and that would be more than enough in that time frame. So
could you? So now in this day and age, you've got to be 25 years old to rent a car. How about back then in the 93 November?
Oh, I mean, I would need more time to look this up. Okay, but
George,
I think
we missed your fingers. I wish. Well, that's because I was going to suggest, hey guys,
no,
that's
a great point. Yeah,
but I guess they're probably all 16, 17. Maybe they can't rent a car yet. You probably had to be at least 18 to rent a car, even back then in the 90s.
Again, they got parents though. I mean, we see Sam's parents in this episode. I mean, they're not there, but still, these parents exist. I think
so. We see her dad when she talks to him.
We do, very briefly, and
on the phone.
Anyway, so we're gonna go to. What's up? You okay?
I'm great. I just remembered we saw another room, and I really didn't take note of it. Now I'm going to. I got it up here on the thing.
I can't wait. Okay,
just
so
a room that we've never seen before.
I don't remember what you're talking about, so I'm going to be excited.
They end up getting money. They get money for this. They convince Sam to give them $700, and then when they do the show, they'll be able to pay her back. So they get the van with the $700 fixed.
Right.
I don't know
Thank
if
you.
we had said that part.
No, we didn't. Yeah, you know what? That's why I love you, and you're always completing my sentences, and you always do this where you actually tell people the plot, because I'm just like, Sly said a really stupid joke. I have to talk about this thing from 1992 that nobody cares about. But I need you to tell the plot to these people, because who is listening that hasn't watched this episode? What is the matter with you? You should. It would make a lot more
You should
sense.
watch this episode. It'd make a lot more sense. And actually, this is a pretty
this is a pretty fun episode.
This is a pretty fun episode. It's pretty low on the painful side, I will say.
Yeah, I'll
I mean, like,
that.
from what I could tell,
Mm-hmm.
there was, there's some casual, boys club talk that happens. That's, it's pretty low on the list of egregious sins that haven't aged well. This episode is a decent one to start with, even.
I'd say so. So Zach is right. Sam kind of reluctantly gives up the entire funds, or at least $700 of the $800 that she was given, so they can get the van fixed, go play the show, and they can immediately pay her back. But I think we all know that was not going to go so smoothly.
Ooh, I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, because we're only like 7 minutes into the episode. Like, it's not going to go that smoothly. So
no way.
We jump to the garage.
This episode can't be about them playing another venue.
No, that would be terrible if it's just them playing more than a one-song set and actually filling that time. So we find out here that Jake's not doing the install. They said, okay, they're waiting for the van. And then Jake is like, well, you guys want to play some poker? While we wait for the van, just to drill into our heads that this is actually happening. Did you notice where he was like, you guys want to play some poker? And then people start crowding around him, but there is no table. There is no poker table. There's nothing to put these cards on. Was he just handing cards to people? Like, what? Make it make sense.
Maybe it was just, okay, so they end up playing poker in this garage. So maybe later, the table that they end up playing was just off screen.
No, where would the van come in?
You're right. I'm trying to stick up for you.
He's
California
literally
dreams.
breaking the fourth wall with this van and this non-existent poker table.
Yeah,
I get it. He's just so excited to play poker, and then Tiffany wants to come in and she wants to play too. But ew, girls can't play poker.
No, and she's like, I'm actually pretty good. It's like, I know, but we like to do guys stuff together.
Yeah, like
just the guys.
Belching is a guy thing. I guess I don't know. I've been with partners in the past. I've been with women that could belch me under the table. They were just better at it. And so I never used it as some kind of alpha calling card, I should say. So we finally
we're not like other guys. Everybody, Pete and I are not like other guys.
Like Edward and Twilight, we're not like other guys.
Exactly.
So the van finally comes in, and it's the same van. I think it's the same van.
Yeah, it hasn't changed. It looks like the Scooby-Doo van.
Sure.
The dream machine. It's the dream machine.
I had a whole thing when this guy came in. All right. Are you ready? Just strap in for a second.
Okay.
So I actually wrote here, I was like, oh my God, Gus, it's the school shop teacher, right? The one from Surfboards and Cycles.
Is it?
Stick with me. I was so sure. I was so sure. I wrote a whole thing about it. I was like, why are they hanging out with their fucking teacher? Because they play poker with them later. I'm like, well, what is this guy doing with 16-year-olds? He's not. He's not. Your hesitancy was correct. He is not the same shop teacher. That guy, his name is Mr. Klein. That's in episode 6. Okay, so here's where the mystery happens. Mr. Klein has hair. Obviously, in that one, He's not credited in the episode at all. I cannot find out what actor played him. He's not in the extended credits. He's not in the closing credits. He's not in the IMDb credits. Another fact, the guy who plays Gus in this episode, why I was so sure that he was the shop teacher, because he played the shop teacher in 2 episodes of Saved by the Bell. He played Mr. Sonsky.
What?
Both as the auto body shop teacher and the wrestling coach. So we have another Stingray situation.
Okay. So
Huge. The only caveat is they don't say his last name in one or the first name in the other. So
they have plausible deniability on their side.
But it's
Good
the
job.
same. He's playing the same exact character.
He's the same guy.
Same guy.
He's the same guy.
It's the same song.
That's right.
So I was
Would
blown
make
away.
sense. Also, this is November. They're in their fall break, so he's picking up some extra time in the body shop away from teaching shop.
He's scamming children right across the bay. That's what he's doing.
That's right. Oh, this is big.
So anyway, Mr. Sonsky, Gus, whatever his name is, not Mr. Klein, he drops the van off. It doesn't work. But before that, Jake was like, all right, guys, load the van up. Like, it was going to take 20 seconds. Dude, you lift your own fucking amp in there, okay? I can't stand guitarists. They're the worst.
He's probably borrowing an amp.
Mm. If that's the case, they definitely didn't need to fucking bring a band van, but I digress.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They Gus ends up demanding an extra $100, which 700 plus 100. Oh, that's the rest of it. Sam's
That's
just
all.
got cleaned the heck out.
The entire red envelope right there, baby.
And then just a whole pile of parts just clampers down out of.
I love there's some intern that just dumped them.
They just somebody was under the van and just tossed him into view under there. It's great.
I remember you being so impressed when the bumper fell off, because you're like, that took time. That had to be rigged. But another van stunt just dumped.
Yeah, so, this stunt was dumped. I'm gonna watch it again.
Yeah. Stunted stunt, if you will. Well, while you do that, we're weird.
That's great. I saw it. Anyway, so the van doesn't work, and Sam realizes, oh no van, no gig, no money, no money, no flight to China for the Chinese New Year, and Sam's so sad.
Wow, that's a bummer. I felt something that this, like, the next scene when they're in the kitchen, I'm like, oh fuck, they just didn't make the gig. Like, they didn't band together, no pun intended, to make this happen. I think that could have been the episode, like them making it to the gig so they could pay Sam and she could get home to Hong Kong. But they took a different route. But I don't know, Zach, have you ever had to bail on a show the day of? Like, have you just not made it to something? I could think maybe
only one time,
3 times,
and
I could think maybe once. I think
it was in Greenville, South Carolina, and it was a snowstorm. It was just
same.
Yeah, it got snowed out. We were driving through the mountains, and it was just getting sketchier and sketchier. And people were staying home. We were communicating with the venue, and they're like, I don't know. People are saying they're not, and then the bands on the bill were dropping out. So it was like, okay, we're the only ones who are going to show up if we even make it there. Anyway, so we ended up stopping and canceling the show for that reason, and the whole show got canceled.
In South Carolina? That should be the headline right there. Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah. Super icy. Yeah. It was, so that, and I was really bummed because that was the first time that had happened. Mm-hmm. And there have been other times where we've made it work. Early on, we were on our way to play South by Southwest the first time we played, and we're driving there. We get about 2 hours there.
Snowed out in
Of course,
Texas.
in Austin, Texas. Maybe 2-3 hours there, and our car breaks down. And we had to get it towed back to Nashville because it was, worth it. Barely. And then we borrowed our dad's car. This was Kirsty and I, so we were just driving it was just the two of us in a hatchback Subaru. So then we borrowed my dad's Vibe and made it down there. We made it work. So yeah, there are options.
This episode's about you.
This episode's about me, basically. And I was like, hey, just borrow somebody's car or use. We already know who has a car. Tiffany has a car. That cute little red thing. She's got a car that could have fit at least half of the people. I mean, look, in high school, you make it work. Like now we make it work, but you hug your instruments. If you all got to drive down there in a sedan,
sit on laps. We've done that recently where we had to fit 4 people in a fucking car, and somebody just sat on my lap and we're like,
it's something high schoolers do. It's like, this is
it's romantic when you're in high school. It's sad when we do it now, but we still do it.
The life we've chosen.
Honestly, $1,000 gig, like a $2,070 gig right now, like I would do anything to get down there. But your story the only time that we really had to cancel too was a snowstorm. We were traveling, we were doing a little mini tour, and we're doing one in Watertown, New York, one in Toronto, and then one in like Buffalo the next day or whatever. And the first, we got our record label's van and we went up there. We're going up to Watertown, which is supposed to take about 5-6 hours or something. Blinding white snow. And it was just getting bad. Like the highway just closed. And so we hit up the venue and we're like, at best, we're going to be 2 hours late. And then it just kept getting worse and worse. And we're like, we have to call it. Like, we're getting a guarantee, but this is so dangerous. So we were still like 3 hours out and we kind of diverted to go to Toronto. We were in the van for 11 hours that day, like just getting to Toronto at like 4:30 in the morning. But
yeah,
it is. So like that, we didn't make happen because it would have been very dangerous. And then, we're going to have to go to Toronto the next day anyway to play this festival. Oh, that was a nightmare. That's a whole other story. I set up this festival. I got a bunch of money to do so. And it was like this biggest shit show I've ever kind of been a part of. I've never really fully told the story. NDA has expired. I'm ready to talk about it, but
the truth is coming out.
Anyway, wow. So anyway, sorry. They're in the kitchen. They're not making the gig. I'm upset, but I'm going to get over it. Sam has to tell her parents that she's not coming home for Hong Kong. So she calls.
Yeah.
And we see Sam's dad very briefly. He's very upset. But this got me looking, Zach. Do you recognize this guy? The actor that played Sam's dad?
This guy. I did recognize him.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't place it. And who is it?
His name is Jack Ong. He's a famous Chinese character actor. He hasn't been in a lot of stuff, but I did want to mention something that was interesting. There is 6 movies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 forms of media where he plays a character named Mr. Wu.
Wow.
So the movie, going backwards: Thief, Hold the Rice, Gold Diggers, California Dreams, of course, Days of Our Lives, and his first film, If Not For You. He plays some iteration of Mr. Wu. So does that mean this is a whole shared universe? Now, sometimes they're spelled W-O-O, and sometimes it's W-U. But it does beg the question that nobody else ever has asked. Is California Dreams in a multiverse kind of situation?
I want to explore this. How have you seen any of those movies or shows? Episodes?
No, I didn't go that far in, but would I watch 2 episodes of Days of Our Lives? Yes, I would.
To find out, does he have a daughter?
I'm sure because based on the caliber of other acting names, what's the roles? That's where I'm looking for. Based on the other roles he had, it's always like shopkeeper or angry grocery cook or something like. So I imagine it's more of a character actor, few lines kind of situation. So I don't know, but California
it could
Dreams
be the same person.
this could be Mr. Sonsky thing over, like this could be overarching tentacles everywhere from California Dreams, and nobody's talking about it.
No, not enough people are talking about it. Well, we've done this a few times with different actors, and I mean, we always look into what their previous past is like, and their
no
future.
pet rock unturned here on Surf Dudes with Attitude. You can contact us at surfdudeswithattitude@gmail.com if you found anything else like this that we need to know about.
Yeah, you think we didn't overturn that pet rock? Well, thank you for doing the work. Thanks for doing it with us, because
we drew on eyebrows on that pet rock and we turned it over and we found
that's
this.
Right. Now it's upside down. Its googly eyes are full of dirt. I do like that theory a lot more than just the lack of creativity that American writers have for writing anyone who isn't
I hope so
white.
too. Or, I mean, I'm sure he could demand it too. I'm sure, because his name was Park in a couple of those acting roles, and I was like, come on, man, you're making him Korean now. Like, at least let the man just be Chinese, because he's Chinese.
Yeah. Well, how popular is Wu of a name?
That's a great question. I imagine it's pretty popular because the writers of California Dreams picked it for Samantha. So it had to be very, very easy to remember. And somebody hearing it would immediately be like, oh, it's a Chinese American,
Yeah. Is it like Smith? Is it, a name that is like, yes, it's a cliche, and yes, it's a little bit,
I think so.
Casually.
I'm under no authority to confirm or deny, but that sounds right.
So
this is the apex of Sad Sam. Do you feel yourself starting like a metamorphosis out of your cocoon, Zach?
Yeah.
You're not in your final form yet, but you're getting there.
No, but I can feel it. I can feel it starting. I don't know. I like it here a lot. I like all the people I've met, but I just really miss my family.
Yeah. And it just suits you being inside all the time, not getting any sun. But we're gonna go to Sharky's. Okay. And I guess this is the first time I noticed that Sly and Matt are just sitting on one of the tables while hanging out. That's kind of rude, right? Like, I gotta bust tables. That's fuck off. Just bring up two other chairs. Get your buns off there. Yeah.
They really are. That's I mean, like, the levels for this conversation does really work.
Mm-hmm.
So I like it. I see why they chose to do that, like the aesthetics and the just like, nobody's got to crane their neck too bad from one booth to another.
At least when
it's honestly, it's given me a bit of an idea for the next time I go out to a restaurant.
You're going to dress up as a table for the next episode?
I think I might dress up as a table.
You might not watch Saved by the Bell that much, but Zach used to sit on a trash can and put his feet in the swinging door of the trash can. And that was like a cool guy thing to do. Whereas Slater would always sit backwards, but at least he was at the booth,
I feel like I'm not quite picturing this correctly.
Okay, so
he used to sit on the trash can?
A big industrial trash can with the top, and then it's got the little swinging door that you throw stuff in on both sides. He sat on the top, and then his feet would be on, his heels would be on the inside of the thing. Yeah, like that.
So he's got a good knees up perch going on. He's
definitely
gargoyled out.
He's like a condor protecting its nest.
A California condor, one could say.
Boom. Did you like Sly's little weird sociopathic diatribe in this scene where he's like, he talked about how his, hypothetically, a dad said that they were going to come to your little league game, and then he never showed up. Right?
Yeah.
Sly the fucking latchkey kid, fucking psychopath, sociopath there.
Psychopath. I like that.
Yeah, thank you.
That's nice. That's the first time we've heard it here, but I haven't caught it.
I've said it a couple of times, and it always gets like dominated by like laughter or something else going on. I'm like, damn it. I mean, I'm editing, so I can make it louder, or it might have been an episode that you weren't on. I think we were talking about was Sly like silent. Sly has
psychopath. I do. Yeah, Sly does do this periodically where he'll reveal a lot about his home life.
Yes.
In a way that is genuinely sad.
You should call CPS on some of the stuff that Sly has let slip.
Yeah. And this is one of those moments that's kind of classic absent father type of
I wonder if we ever seen his dad. I'm surprised we haven't. Like, he's not some sleazy lawyer or real estate agent in the greater Los Angeles area. That's what he does. And you would see like, oh, Sly's exactly like his dad, but he needs affection from his dad. Like, I could see that being an episode. But again, I'm not 10-year-old me writing it. So
right, not anymore.
No notes here.
Not without the check. That's what Pete always says. Not going to work for free.
Pay me, bitch, or something.
Pay me.
I can't
pay me, bitch.
I sound so demanding when I say
F you, pay me, B.
So we're gonna go to the garage, and they have set up a card table because they've hatched a scheme that they're gonna get the money back. Because I guess Gus is not gonna fix the van for them, even though he didn't do whatever. Okay, so Gus, who may be the shop teacher in Saved by the Bell, moonlighting again. Anyway, they all get wiped out, and then Tiffany comes in, and of course she's amazing, right? And I know they had a scene where, just to show how amazing she is, she does some cardistry, if you will. She does some she does some.
That's pretty great. That cut shuffling of the stunt shuffler.
Of the stunt shuffler.
Conveniently, the shot cuts off her
I gotta
face.
say, she has the same body type as Tiff. I was really looking, and I kind of wonder who they got. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't like a magician, but it was somebody that was very adept at it, and
it was something that not everybody could do. I mean, a lot of people can do. Most people can't do.
I can't do. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I don't know what amazing is, but it looked amazing to me.
There it is.
She's doing like that one-handed shuffle thing. She was doing the I don't know what it's called.
I think the accordion, maybe.
Yeah,
that's
the
what
accordion.
It looked like.
It was called the gambit slap. And then she was doing the spread where it was so even. Now a lot of people try to do that. Even I've tried to do that. Pete, you've tried to do that.
I've tried to do it.
It's hard to get it even.
I can't get it.
I'm inclined to try it right now. But I have no table in front of me, nor a card deck.
that doesn't stop Jake from playing poker. So you can.
That's
do it
true.
Too.
I need Jake's attitude when it comes to this kind of thing. I could use my knees.
Speaking of magician, quick anecdote from tour. We were in Milwaukee, which turned out to be the worst night on tour. It was just bad for morale. Humiliating show. We played to fucking nobody. Anyway, the people in this area were fucking weird. For every nice person that was there, it was almost like they had a handler. Like the handler was nice, and then they were toting around some cracked out fucking meth head that kept talking to us, and it was so many people like that. There was 6 sets of them. And there was this one dude. I don't know what his deal was, but he was definitely on something the entire night. He seemed nice at first, and then he was got weird. But he kept talking like, "Hey, do you guys like magic? Do you like card tricks?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Yeah, okay. And then he's like, "I want to show you one. I'm going to go on one. I'm going to practice. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to show you what's going to blow your fucking mind." Okay. So we play, we have a 3-hour set. We play the first half. it goes terribly. Nobody watches. It's awful. Whatever. Fucking magician shows back up. He's like, you want to see your card trick now? And I'm like, you bet your ass I do. Abracadabra me. Let's do this. And then so he does some stuff. It's kind of like, pick a card, any card kind of thing. And then he asked me to cut the deck. He ask me to do a little accordion thing kind of thing. And then he's like, he kind of flips it in front of me. And he's like, did you see your card in there? And I was like, yeah, sure. I saw it. And then no, I think I saw it. He starts shuffling. And then like the confidence on his face just leaves. And he's slowly kind of pulling a card out and looking at it and then putting it back in. And he's like, I think I fucked up. I don't know which one is your card. And I was fully expecting this to be patter, and then for the card to be like in my back pocket or in my shoe or at my butt. And then he's like, no, seriously, I don't know. I messed it up. And then he's like, do you know any card tricks? Can you show me a card trick? And then I had to play another like 80-minute set to nobody. The magician didn't even stay.
My God.
And then at the end of the set, he's like, I thought your band kind of sucked, man, but I guess you turned it around. And I was like, not like that card trick, David Lame.
What?
Yeah, it was a really bad night, and morale the next day was not high. So that guy.
Oh, man. Oh, that blows.
Yeah, that's Milwaukee. I spelled it wrong on the poster that I realized that we were selling. I totally misspelled Milwaukee, and I was like, I don't even feel bad. Fuck Milwaukee. So I have a question after that. Have you ever lost? Did you every time somebody loses at poker in media? And they lose their shirt and their shorts and stuff. But every time I see like a goofy person in boxers, they're always heart boxers. Did you ever own a pair of these? Big red heart boxers.
Boxers aren't really my thing. I do. I did no. No is the short answer. I have some with like red lips on them.
Okay.
As like the classic throwback that it is. Like, I don't know who popularized it first. Like, it was probably a cartoon. It was probably Bugs Bunny.
It's a bit more sexual because it's your undergarments, but a heart. I guess it's like love, but I don't know.
It's like love. Yeah, there's a part of me that really does love how classic they are as a cartoon thing. That probably. I don't know. What is the origin of it?
I'm gonna say cartoon stuff because like like boxers and briefs. It was a big debate back in the 90s. Are you telling me that you were always like you were never a boxer guy even in your youth?
I was a boxer briefs guy. I was a boxer briefs guy. Boxer briefs. They kind of split the difference. And now, well, you'll have to get to know me.
I mean. It's either commando or a thong for you. I can't imagine anything else. I won't imagine anything else.
Thank you. Good.
Anyway, so Tiffany is, for some reason, no. Anyway, Tiffany beats everybody. And so the last, this is just some dumb poker odds if you care.
And the crowd loves it.
I don't think you care, but
I care.
Gus draws 4 jacks, only to be bested by Tiffany's 4 queens. The odds of getting any quad is 1 in 4,164 poker draws. The odds of getting queens over jacks is quadruple that, so about 1 in 17,000. So we just witnessed history. So she cheated, is what I'm saying. 100%.
She cheated. What if he cheated and she's really that good? You ever think of that, Pete?
I mean, I saw the cardistry. It's possible she's that good.
It's possible. She
Zach,
learned.
This is your scene, though.
Grandpa. This is my scene upcoming. They win the money back and they convince Gus to fix the van.
Free tune-up as well thrown in
fully,
there.
all completely.
I mean, he's a terrible mechanic. Why would you put him in charge of fixing your van again? You know?
Yeah, I'd probably just be like, give me the money, and then be like, no, now give me more money so I can take it to another guy.
Yeah, what's the recourse here? Like, are they going to beat him up if he doesn't like fix their van for him? I mean, I guess it's like we're putting a nice bow on the end of this plot kind of thing. But they already blew
they
the
might
gig.
beat him up.
Okay,
I hope they beat him up.
that
I hope Jay and Mookie are now friends, and Mookie and his gang are the muscle. You know, like they've made amends, and now he's got like muscle, and they're. You know what? There was a brief time. We had a good friend who had a motorcycle. He was a biker, you could say.
Mm-hmm.
A haunt friend as well, a spooky lad, and he rode with a bunch of other bikers who were other big, strong, spooky lads, and they would like show up to our shows, and they were not like an official gang. They were like they had a club, you know,
Sure.
but it was pretty low key. They wore the jackets, matching patches and stuff, and they would come to our shows like together, and they were like, hey, like. We could be your protection if you want. It's like, I don't think there's a huge need for that right now, but like your presence here is enough that like no one is going to fuck with us. So
yeah,
thank you. And they were great.
Some weekend warriors there working overtime for children.
It was pretty cool to have. So all I'm saying is Jay needs to, you know, he's got to be connected with some other leather
Are you
daddies.
calling him Jay or Jake?
I've been alternating because we know Jay now, and
we know Jay. We're friends with Jay.
And I sometimes I call him by his first, the actor's first name, and sometimes I call him Jake.
I did want to ask you. I see Jay, our friend, he's starting to interview some old writers from the show. I think he's encroaching on our territory. What do you think about that?
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. He has access to some of these people that we're constantly making fun of that are not returning our emails.
Interesting. Where's Mookie when you need him?
I mean, he's probably dead of old age.
Let's sick him. Sick him on our dear friend Jay. Let's get some muscle. He's probably not around anymore. Sorry, Mookie. R.I.P.
I don't think we looked up. I think he's still alive. I think he's okay. But anyway, Sam is.
I don't know.
Sam's very upset right now, and she's wearing. You can hear by the thunder rumbling.
Yeah.
Sam is wearing this light blue half moon and stars robe. And,
it's a robe.
And Zach, if you are a friend on Patreon, which you can go to, CaliforniaDreamsPodcast.com, Zach is wearing something very, very similar. And
it's very similar. And you might have heard it.
You did.
Rustling, that ASMR happening. That's
it's ASMR.
The texture. What did I? Yes.
I'm coming. I don't know what ASMR actually like. Do people get off on it, or they just really like it?
It's a variety of things. I think people like it. I think some people are more susceptible to certain tones, and it gives them chills. And then some people, it is sexually gratifying.
Okay, I'll take it.
So, yeah. So in this case, this is sexually gratifying for you. All of it. Okay, great. Chills.
Goose flesh.
I love the sound.
I just want to say quick about your robe. I recognized it because it's been on a few shows now. There's a website called wornontv.com, but I didn't even need it because I knew exactly where I knew it from. This was a popular Victoria's Secret brief 2-year span that they sold this robe. It was on 90210. This was something that Tori Spelling's character wore a lot, and it was also on Melrose Place the first season, and Allison would wear it. It was also worn by Mayim Bialik in a show called Call Me Kat in 2008. So this,
That's
I want to
recent.
say it's the same fucking robe. Like I want to say that they're just passing it, but this is a wardrobe decision, and it
This
goes
is
to show
Sisterhood of the Traveling Robe.
it is, it is.
That's
So
great.
it's so funny because I wrote this down, and then as soon as we came on, I never know what Zach's going to dress up as, and I was just like, oh my god, you're not going to believe this. There's a whole backstory with this robe.
I
So,
almost wore something else, and then that would have been embarrassing.
yeah, no,
We
I
would
mean,
have had less to talk about. You still would have talked about it, but
said this anyway, sure, but it's just so much better.
yeah. And then I would have
seeing
been
a
like,
visual.
darn, I almost. You know, now I want to find the actual one. If I watched these episodes with more advanced notice than an hour before we filmed this, and I had time to order clothes and I had money to do so, these outfits, you know?
I mean, nothing's stopping you from just watching a future episode, but you're right.
You're right.
That's on me.
You're right.
I'm not a good enough producer. You know what? Where's George? This is really George's department.
Yeah.
So the gang decides to help Sam out because it turns out that there are no more flights home. It is too close to the Chinese New Year, so she's very bummed out. And they realize they can't even drive her home if they get the van fixed. So, what do they do?
Of the ocean.
That's right. What do? We go to Sharky's, and my first note here was just the word no. And they have done up Sharky's to look like the Chinese New Year celebration.
What?
Complete, replete, with a full dragon running around. And I saw the instruments were on stage, and I got excited. It's been so long. For some reason, the waiter from Sharky's is there for this Chinese New Year celebration. So does that mean this is during store hours? This means Sharky's was available. No flights to Hong Kong, but Sharky's always available.
Always. And, I mean, it's a full house. So everybody who's there is also dressed up. They got the masks. They got all the things.
Yes.
They don't have fireworks, which Sam points out, but you know, hey, they're doing their best.
You never know, could go on outside. We're never going to see outside, but you never know, there could be a fireworks celebration right after the fact.
If outside existed in this world, California dreams.
So, and one final surprise, they bring in Sam's parents, who have been hiding out in Sharky's kitchen for the entire week, I think.
What? Because they couldn't get Sam to China, but they could get
Chinese to
they
Sam.
could get Chinese to Sam. Isn't that great? And their parents are very excited, and well, they want to hear a song, don't they, Pete?
They do. They want to hear a song from Sam Wu and the California Dreams, which I actually kind of chuckled at. That's funny.
Yeah, that is funny
that she would call it that. I don't get any chuckles when they say Sam talks too much and her fast annoying. I don't get chuckles there, but this I get.
Yeah,
I've been guilty of this, calling it my band as opposed to our band. That's me. But they want to hear a song. It's a song we've heard before, Zach.
Yes, it is. I didn't recognize it immediately, and so I was like, okay, all right. And then I was like, wait, this is the theme seems pretty familiar. I was like, oh, that's right, we did hear this song. Yes, indeed.
Mama said,
and this is a song that I said before, and I'll stand by it, that this is a song that must have been written by Jenny for Jake.
Yep.
And you know, I'm just looking at Jake and I'm just wondering, like, is this painful to hear this song? Does he still care? Does he still write Jenny? I know he's with Tiffany, so
I think
probably
it hurts
not,
Matt
but also they're
more
best
than
friends.
anything. Because it's really like Mama said no more incest. She insisted that we stop seeing each other, Matt. I think that's really what the song's about, and I think Matt's upset about that every time he has to play it. And all his background vocals, ooh, ooh, she's the one. You know, it's a little hook.
Yeah.
But speaking of Matt, he did it. He said, let's do it. And then it was off screen, but I could tell that he counted too fast, and he didn't
always
wait for
does.
anybody to be ready. So it's almost a carbon copy of the version that we heard before. It is the same version we heard.
Mm-hmm.
And but I did notice some stuff. If you want to talk about like the Tony's hitting the fills, he's doing the rim shots.
Mm-hmm.
The amps aren't on. Tony is singing, but with no mic. And the California Dreams did their famed one song set. Everybody loved it, and we get a still frame.
It's great. And did you notice she said just before they play this song, her parents are there, and she's like,
Mhm.
"Wow, guys, I expected to make friends. I didn't expect to make a do family."
Wow.
Talking about the Dreams and her family there. And then when the song is over, they all pose together, and it's all of the California Dreams plus her family. It's
Besides
Sam's
Sly.
whole family. Sly's a piece of shit. He's not invited. He's not the family, and we all know it.
Yeah,
But everybody else is there, and it's the family.
that's true. That's
Oh.
true. I mean,
Isn't that
not
cute?
The,
Did you
not,
notice
not
that?
not the Garrisons that took her in that are responsible for feeding and housing her. But
That's
you know what?
because Jake
Fuck
murdered
them
them.
too. That's true. They're
That's
rotting in the
because
basement. They're
they're rotting
decomposing in the
basement.
locker.
That's right.
So anyway,
Or
that's
they're
the episode.
decomposing in the cars that they were dropped off in the ocean, and that's why they didn't have extra cars to drive.
Okay.
You think this is how that happened?
So
Do you
Dennis
think he
wasn't
made it
there
look
either.
like a car
No.
trash crash?
So that's the episode, the year of the woo. Wow. I mean, it's been a month since I watched the California Dreams episode, and this was a fun one to come back to. The last couple have been pretty rough. The Vote of Confidence was the last episode, and then the one before that, which the one before that was when Jake gets a job at the record store, which I think you saw. But we
saw
didn't
both of
talk
those.
about too much.
Yeah.
But you missed the High Plain. You missed the Western episode, and that
Which was. I'll probably go back and watch it at some point. It's
Godspeed. Godspeed, my friend.
I liked Dream episodes, and I really liked as a kid, and I still do. Western themed things. Some Western movies here and there, but like I liked Feifel a lot. Feifel Goes West.
Sure.
Was my favorite. Things like that, man. Or like just do the Western spin.
Can I ask you a question? When you went to like an amusement park, did you ever do that, like dress up in old timey stuff and get a photo taken? Because that's got you written all over it.
Kirsty and I did that.
About.
My sister.
That
we did
like
that.
It's like an
on
awesome
tour.
band photo. Yeah, we should have done.
Yeah, we did that on tour. We didn't take a photo because it wasn't at an amusement park, but when we went to Denver, the Denver Art Museum, or Historical Museum rather, has a Western section where you can try on chaps and hats and vests.
The Golden Corral? Is that is this?
Oh yeah, baby! It's the museum there.
Wait, so you're at the museum, you're allowed to try on this shit, but there's no photo opportunity? You're just allowed to try on chaps?
Yeah, apparently, yeah. Yeah, in hindsight, that's funny.
Yeah, they're missing an opportunity there for income.
Yeah, they really should have thought about that. Yeah, I think it was kind of in the kids interactive section, which was Kirsty and I were always drawn to. Maybe
this is just something that I've never actually thought about it, but because I grew up near Hershey Park in Pennsylvania, and I was there a lot. We had like a season pass. When you were going in, one of the first shops was like, it's an old timey saloon, and you could, you dressed up and you got a professional photo taken and all that. Like, yeah. I've never been that guy, but I'm really curious. There had to have been other people that's what they came for, like they always had to hit it, and they always had to dress up a little different or something. So, and they're like, hey kids, this is going to be our Christmas card this year because we're the quirky ones in the family. Dude, if that's you, please write us at surfdudeswithattitude@gmail.com or hit us up on Instagram. Like, I really want to know your story. Maybe I hope you turned out okay. That's all,
Yeah, is that like are you a cosplayer now? You
Yeah,
know?
a
Is
cross dresser.
Halloween your favorite? Are you cross dresser? Is it have you I don't know, it could be all kinds of things. Is Halloween your favorite? Are you a Disney adult as you were a Disney child?
Oh, the Disney. They have to be Disney adults at this point.
They're probably Disney adults. I feel like of all the things I mentioned, Disney adults is I don't know.
It's the
It
most
could be all of it,
upsetting one. Yeah, for sure.
but it's probably the most upsetting. No, it's funny. I check so many of those boxes, and I have not
That's.
done the
I'm
the
very
saloon
surprised.
dress up thing.
Yeah.
I am too. I never really wanted to either, which also a little bit surprises me. That I think there was always something a little cringe about it,
Mhm.
and it felt costumey, and
Sure. I mean,
yeah. I don't. I try to make it's a subtle distinction, but I try. I like fashion. I don't love costumes. So
wow.
while a lot of my band is very theatrical, I wear different outfits for all of these episodes.
Yes,
But I think the fashion is in this is very good, and I'm not trying to do a costume of these characters. It's a subtle difference, but
for sure.
the saloon thing always felt a little costumey, and I was like, I think that's not quite for
You don't
me.
want to be hacky. I get it, man.
I don't want to be hacky. I'm the real deal, baby.
You're the real Huckleberry here. I get it.
That's right.
I kind of want to give out some awards because it's been so long, and I feel the cast of California Dreams is like, where's my goddamn award? And
Yeah,
you're right. They're not wrong. So I want to immediately give out the Tony Award, which is the best mimed instrument to Jake, because I think he heard us bitching about his chords during the verses, and he did a lot better. All right, he nailed the solo again, but he paid attention to the other stuff. All right, he wasn't just hot dogging. He was very subdued in this one, and he paid attention to what he was playing. I appreciate that. Tony's a close second with that because he was doing the rim shots and the click, but I got to give something to Jake or Jay, as you will. And I think
I will.
Actually, I'm going to give Gus the Jenny because he's just a meathead. And everybody did great. Everybody did great playing. And I want to give the Tiffy out to Sam because she paid for this band basically. She willing to give up $800, which is fucking almost $2,000 today.
Yeah,
for her band, and even though it was given to her,
incredible.
Still, it's a big deal. And I've definitely had beneficiaries in the band that have paid for stuff until it just evolved into me. For the bulk of this band. And so it's really, I want an award for all the money that I've put into this band. It's a very self-serving thing.
You deserve it.
And I guess I want honorable mention to the stunt shuffler in this episode.
Ooh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You look great.
That's nice.
Tiff's top. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the same top.
No,
I don't.
So
I doubt they had two of the same tops.
I'm telling you, it's almost the exact same frame. So yeah,
we're gonna. Yeah, they look identical.
Do you think there was a discussion where she was like, "I want to learn how to do this. I can do it," or they were like, "No, we're going with a stunt girl." I
wonder because she does the way that she lays him down is very fast, and that's a shot that you can tell that it is her doing it. Uh-huh. She has a familiarity with the deck and with being able to.
So she got maybe the same person that did the stunt work probably showed her some chops to do, so she could look a little believable. I appreciate that. She did a ride along, if you will.
Oh yeah, that's nice. She did a little ride along. Yeah, I think actually my awards are going to be pretty similar. Mm-hmm. I think the Tiffany I want to give to Sam because that's a big deal. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of trust. And in a band that hasn't really shown that they have good fortune to make good
a
on
band
their
that
word.
fucks it up most times. Yeah, for sure.
They most of the time fuck it up. They don't make good on their word most of the time. Um, the Jenny, I think Gus as well. You nailed that one.
Mhm.
Tony, I want to give to the Chinese dragon that comes flying in, singing the melody in the opening of this Mama Said song, and nailed it.
Yeah, that's good. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
You're right. There was some lip syncing going on, and I think I'd like to
Yeah.
change my Jenny to the intern that threw the bucket of bolts underneath the van because we could have done better.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Zach, do you want to guess what the next episode's about? I don't know if
Sure.
you'll be with us, but I would really like to have your blessing and maybe tell us what it's about.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, the next episode 12 of season 2 is called Schoolhouse Rock, and it came out on November 27th, so that's probably Thanksgiving. So this is the Thanksgiving episode. Is that a hint? I'm not telling.
This is the Thanksgiving episode. Schoolhouse Rock. Schoolhouse Rock. I mean, I'm thinking I know they've done a talent show, but they haven't done a school talent show.
Okay.
And I think they're going to have to play for their school talent show.
All right.
Your response so far seems like I'm not even warm.
Well, I'm so you're right. It doesn't have anything to do with Thanksgiving or the Pilgrims.
Thank goodness.
Or the Mayflower.
Okay.
The dreams get the chance to audition for Sting's manager, but the ruthless Miss McBride's eagerness to hand out detention slips might keep some of the members from making it. This is Miss McBride from the Surfboards and Cycle episode, right? The drill sergeant is back.
Oh, she's rad. Okay, wait. What? Okay,
Yeah,
Sting's
Sting.
manager.
Yeah.
This is like the safest I've ever played this game, and I should have played my cards better.
You should have got that stunt double to play your cards better. That's what you should have done.
Sting's management.
Speaking of which, Zach, you said there was a new scene in this, a new set. Did you get to talk about it in this episode?
Oh yeah, we flew past it.
What?
It's all right. It was just the it's one we probably won't see again. It's probably a corner of something else, but it's when Samantha calls her dad.
Her dad was in a new scene.
Her dad was in a new scene. Her dad's house in China. We see what that looks like.
We probably won't see that ever again.
We probably won't, but like, where was that?
Because it's true. You think it was like on the set somewhere. I think it was in whatever room that living room is, because it's so big and you could probably make a corner look like a room.
Yeah, let's make note of this because it's blue. It's like periwinkle blue with sort of white polka dots, but they might be stars. It's hard to distinguish what their shape is, but there's a pattern. It's not random, you know.
Okay.
It's lined, you know.
Okay. This sounds dark, but like what you're describing is like there's software out there for that. You know, you're supposed to like take a picture of every hotel room you've ever been in because it stops trafficking victims, so they can, if they ever see it on a illicit video, they can match it up. So that's what you're trying to get us to do. Trying to get us to like zone in on everything that's happened in that very quick scene. So in case we ever see it again, our brain will be like, there it is. That's the Sharkey's back room. That's the office where they fire people.
Mr. Wu, who's been everywhere.
I think he was in Sharkey's kitchen because that's where he came out of.
Oh, he might be in Sharkey's kitchen pretending to be in Hong Kong. There's a family portrait of some kind. It looks like 5 or 6 adults all sitting down. Okay, and then there's, I think, like a calendar He's covering part of it, but it looks to be a calendar with like a nature scene, a painted nature scene as the illustration of well, there's like a waterfall and there's trees and there's a pathway.
Okay. So a Bob Ross painting. Got it.
It's a Bob Ross painting. It's like a Kincaid painting, but
Thomas Kincaid reference. Wow.
yeah. Exactly. But well, it's but the Chinese version of that.
Right. Okay. Well, you heard it here, folks. If we see it ever again, please contact us. This has been Surf Dudes with Attitude. Hit us up at surfdudeswithattitude@gmail.com, surfdudeswithattitude.com. It's got all of our episodes. Please follow us on Spotify and Instagram and YouTube and TikTok, and then CaliforniaDreamsPodcast.com to support the show, where we do extended shows. We may or may not cover songs, and we do exclusive video there stuff. Fuck, it's really good to be back. We're getting back in the swing of things. We're going to be finishing up season 2. We're going to have maybe an in-person podcast. Who knows? This might happen. And I don't know. I'm excited for some future stuff. And maybe we'll get Sting's manager on one of the next episodes and see what their take on the California Dreams are.
That's what we're missing.
We should just find out who his manager was around this time and ask if he'll come on and talk to us as if this audition actually happened. That would be my dream.
Yeah. Because we know that they probably, it would change the whole thing if they got British picked accents, up by the manager. So
if they're more comfortable with that, we're not above that.
Yeah.
You've seen that we can both be character actors here and method acting.
That's right. And I've heard that's true. Like that people with other accents, especially from other countries, feel more at home when you speak to them in their accent.
Exaggerated versions too. Like the more accented it is, the more comfortable they feel talking about stuff.
It really proves how much you're trying, you know.
I think they'll break an NDA or two for us. So Mr. Sting or whatever his name is, please give us a right. Give us a call, 1-800-SURF-DUDES. I wish we had that number. We don't. But
that'd be sick.
I think it's too many numbers.
How do you get one of those?
That's funny. George, on our old podcast together, we had our own telephone number, and you could get it to say whatever. We did a podcast on this network that he started called Warpath, and it was like 551 Warpath. So
no way.
Yeah, I don't know how George got that number, but it was something. Nobody ever called it, but I wonder if he still has it. He probably does because he's George. And anyway, speaking of George, we want to thank him and say we miss him, and we'll see him next week, and we will see all of you next week. Happy Year of the Dragon, Year of the Woo. Happy Chinese New Year. We'll see you next week. This has been Surf Dudes with Attitude, and until then, everybody drive carefully. This is Pete from New York City. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Good night. Drive safe. You already said that.
I did, but it bears repeating.
Okay, yeah, it's really important.
Vehicular safety is no laughing matter.
That's right. I bet a lot of you are driving right now. I like to listen to things in my car.
Sure.
What are you going to listen to next? The next episode? Listen.
Yeah. We do have a fan that is binging all of our episodes. They message us saying, "Oh, I usually wait like 5 episodes and then I listen to all of them in a row. So hurry up and make more." So
I hope this isn't the last on your run.
This is your shout out. Thanks for sticking with us. We'll see you next time.
That's real sweet.
Bye.
This has been a Winning Moon production.